All I ever wanted was to find a place to fit in. It's really happening!
Disney Pixar's Elio.
Welcome in, welcome in. If you're out of this world, you're on this marble that's spinning around somewhere in space. If you even believe in space, it's another episode from the Critics Collective. I'm the dad Panther, sitting here with Mayte, and she's wondering how I come up with this stuff because I don't write anything down. I just hit record and we just see what happens. And what I like to see what happens, I like to see what happens when you hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment for more. Greatly would appreciate that. 4,000 people. They can't be wrong. They're all subscribed. You should be subscribed too. Now, with that being said,
14.
14. What did I say?
4. You said
4,000.
Yeah,
it's 14. Just demoted. Listen. If you've been here, whether 4 or 14,000, you know I'm gonna pick something up. A name, a number. It don't matter. It just is what I do, and I'm glad you're here to see it. So for this movie, this is Disney and this is Pixar together. And I know that sounds weird, but it's been like that for a while. Disney and Pixar together. So Elio is a movie from IMDb. It says a space futuristic fan with an active imagination finds himself on a cosmic misadventure where he must form a new bond with alien life forms, navigate the crisis of intergalactic proportions, and somehow discover who he is truly meant to be. That sums it up well. That does. Now, this movie came out only in theaters, and which is a lie. I don't know why companies keep saying that. Only in theaters. And I think this movie's going to fucking flop. I'm just going to start out by saying that. Don't know the full numbers. Got to check the weekly review that Lingo does. But this movie's going to fucking flop. Now, Mayte, what's your highs and lows?
I feel like you said it's Disney and Pixar?
Yeah, it is. It says it on the poster. It says Disney and Pixar presents.
I feel like it should have been more. I didn't even cry.
This is not good.
I'd be crying, especially like I feel like it's a really good animated movie. It's gonna make you shed a little tear at least. Mm-hmm. And there was a moment where I did shed a tear or almost did, but it was more Mm-hmm. But I feel like that was the only emotional part, and it wasn't even like the main character. So it was like it was just there. Mm-hmm. Versus like even the main character's emotional moment, I was like, oh, okay. Like I feel like, again, I don't want to spoil too much, but I don't know. It just maybe because the character was all over the place, it kind of felt a little bit all over the place too. Like, I don't know. It hits a lot of marks. I feel like I do see the potential. Don't get me wrong. I feel like if you're a kid, you might enjoy it. Some kids might not really be that interested. I feel like maybe it depends on the age group.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like the characters that I like the side characters more than the main character. And I think that's the problem. We should like the main, like, there's kind of like two main characters, the main one and then the second main one. So the second main one, I feel like he was more the main character and I liked him more. I mean, it felt more of his story towards the end. But yeah, I feel like even the first character, the main character, Elio, he's not really, I feel like he's not really likable. Like he's getting bullied, but also like...
Yeah, to me, you know how that sound? That sound like he's not likable. He's getting bullied, and I felt like he should have been bullied.
No, that's not what I was gonna say. He should have. I don't condone bullying at all, okay? But he like, even when there's a chance for him to make friends, like he still I don't know. This is a kid friendly, so I'm not gonna curse, but he still messed it up. Like. You're not even trying to make friends at this point. You just want to leave. You just want to run away. Like,
oh my gosh.
You need, and then I'm
like, I feel like we have to spoil this part. It doesn't spoil the story. Basically, there's a scene where he has an opportunity to meet a friend who likes a hobby that he likes. And as me, especially as a parent, I think anybody as a young adult or even older, you see what's happening here, and this is exactly what his mom wants, and what the narrative they're trying to give you for this young person, and he shoos that person off and the people off because of his own goals, his own achievements that he's trying to do. He just so hyper focused on an individual goal. And he misses what's right in front of him, that people that wanted to be his friend right then. And it was just frustrating because this is not even halfway in the movie, and they've showcased that they want him to make friends. He wants to make friends. He wants to be included, only to do that. And so it's frustrating, but I think we all know people who do that, who want this. I want a man. I want a woman who does this. And then you're like, but right there, and you let him go. You let her go. You didn't treat her right. Like, so, but so as far as your highs and lows, you do you have any highs in this?
I mean, it was cute. Like I said, the side characters, I like them. I like their story a little bit more.
Mhm.
There was potential. Like I expected a little bit more from a Disney and Pixar collab. I honestly thought it was just Pixar. Again, I would have expected it to be a little bit more emotionally charged. Honestly, I feel like the soundtrack, I don't really remember too much about it, but it wasn't anything like that stood out to me, I feel like, as it should have. Those are more lows, not I mean highs.
I'm glad you're saying it, because I was saying in my head, I'm
Yeah,
like,
I was like, wait, you did say for highs.
and that's why I started
I
off
mean, it
saying
was
this
cute.
movie's
I like the
wow.
side characters. Yeah.
So no highs.
No. I
See,
mean,
I just want you to hear it out loud. You've already said it in so many words,
yeah.
and some not there. So I'm just okay. So for me, highs and lows. Start at the lows as always. The lows, like she said, with the music, it wasn't anything impactful. Anytime I see a sci-fi or space, and I love sci-fi and space, it is such a canvas to do the music. You can go in so many directions, because space, we don't know space. And so you can create sounds and other stuff that it's not a Western, it's not an action movie. There's something that it's like, it has to, like a thriller, a horror movie. It has to have a certain sound. But space is like, it's magical, it's mystical. It, there's a few scores that are on here, especially towards the end, where it felt like that. It felt like, man, this is a really cool score. But it just wasn't the whole soundtrack, unfortunately, at least from what I heard. And I listened to the soundtrack after this movie. The animation, Disney and Pixar together, and this is the animation you give me. I haven't seen worse animation, or I won't say worse, because I know a lot of people worked hard on it and they plan. But Disney's Wish, which I didn't have a problem with animation. I just thought it was a weird stop go. It felt like it was trying to be different, but in that sense, I liked how it was trying to be different. I'm starting to get fatigued with kid movies that look the same animation. It's like, I like cartoons, because cartoons, there's different animations, anime, whether US, whatever. And there's different, artistic styles. Why do they look so much similar? I feel like it just kind of takes me out. That's why I appreciate it. Go check our review on Transformer 1. The animation was completely different. It was something different. The story was different. Um, Another negative, the cast, the main character I didn't like. I liked the character's mom. I felt like she got a raw deal. They made it seem like, or this, I don't want to spoil it, but we'll say mom got a raw deal, but everything was showing in the background was showing how much she cared about him. His room had everything that she liked, but then the narrative was as if she wasn't taking care of him. She wasn't loving him. She didn't know him. She was so hyper focused on work. But just a few seconds in his room, you can see that she gave him everything that he wanted, everything that she needed. I thought the cast was good. But like Mayte said, I felt like the supporting cast is even better. The secondary characters that popped up, I enjoyed them way better than the other one. And I thought that was cool. Um, I don't know. I just feel like this movie was done by, I think, the same person who did Coco. And so Coco gave an emotional tug, especially towards the end, where he sings that song, "Will You Remember Me?" And she remembers it and she sings that song, and it's about the passing and life and culture for Mexicans, and people that understand that culture. And then with this, the director, creator, he felt a wanting to connect, and he used this story because that's how he felt as a kid, and so that was cool. I did see those elements. I just don't think they were executed properly in this. The good that I would say from it is I did like I said, the supportive cast was good. I did think that at times visually they did some stuff, but then I'll go back with another negative. This movie, I'm gonna check the rating. It is PG, not motherfucking PG-13. I took my 6, 7, she's about to be 7 now, 7-year-old daughter in this, had to cover her eyes, had to think, I'm gonna have to leave this theater. I didn't have to do that with Fasa. I didn't have to do that with um the wild robot. She loved that. I had to do it with this shit because there's some scenes where I'm not gonna spoil anything, but you know what I'm talking about, where there's two of the same character, and you know, with a part of the movie where he's like, I'm supposed to go now, and he's like, wait, don't go yet. Do this instead, and the screen turns red. Do you remember what I'm talking about? Screen turns red. It's like there's guards outside. He needs to stall the guards. So they need to sneak in somewhere, and they need a diversion. So what they do is they use, I'll give you a keyword, clone. They use that, and it's this weird.
Yeah. Now I
And I'm
remember.
like, what the fuck in The Ring, The Grudge? And my daughter's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I had to cover her ears. My wife is covering her head. And there was multiple moments where I'm like, you just came out of nowhere. There's nothing in the trailer. There's nothing in the storyline that says any theme like this will be here. And I had to explain to her what was going on. I'm like, they're doing this because of this. And she's like, why did the music get scary? I'm like, honey, I don't know. Do you want to go? And she's like, yes. And I was like, but I can't because I need to be here. I need to be here for you guys. So with that being said, let's go ahead and rate it. Sometimes we watch movies just to make sure that it's all good. Sometimes we watch movies to make sure everything's good so you don't have to watch movies. So we rate movies from a 5 to a 0. We're talking about Elio, came out 2025, PG, not PG, mother effing 13, with a running time of 1 hour and 40 minutes. That is a sweet spot. If you're curious if this movie flopped, and I believe that it did, go ahead and check what Eddie's saying week to week. He talks about the movies, and you tell me, is this movie in the top 5 in theaters? I don't know. Mayte, with that being said, what do you rate this Disney Pixar movie that you had no idea they were working together since Inside Out 2? Go for it.
Oh my god, they did Inside Out together too. But then also it makes sense because I'm like, I know it's Pixar, but I also know it's Disney. So I'm like, I don't know why it just didn't click.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not cut to the chase. I'm just gonna give it a 2. I wish it would have been more. I do when you were saying something, it triggered something. I do see, you know how like there's certain animation movies for kids that they'll put in or they'll make it into like a Netflix TV show for like kids to like, you know, they just make it into like a little TV show for kids where it's like a spin-off and then they'll do the side characters as the main characters. I can see that happening because everybody likes the side characters. I can see it being a little show for kids, but aside from that,
I'm glad these aren't real kids, because if I was a kid, I would feel really bad that no one liked me. They liked all the friends. And so you would come back for a season and the directors and producers like, no, Elio, we don't want you. We want your friends.
Nothing was wrong with him. He just didn't even want to make friends himself. He just hated his situation more than to try to make it, you know, the most out of it.
Which and I do understand because he's a kid. So I mean, I'm not gonna be too critical on little guy.
Yeah, but also like if you think about it, like when they're showing this to kids, like what message are they giving them? Like even the violence with the bullying, it's not even PG-13. Like they shouldn't really show kids under 13 acts of violence, even if it's animation. Like now, you know, they might think that's okay. They'll see it in school like, oh, he's just getting bullied, but then maybe you should say something. You know, there's not positive messages being sent out with these negative ones. So if it did, maybe it would have had a better outcome, but they just showed that without any like positive resolution. What, just escape your problems, you know,
and lie
and not even try. Just kind of
there was some moral values they did not
Yeah.
they did not execute as well as I think they should have.
Yeah, and Inside Out does a really good job of executing emotions, positive and negative, you know?
Mhm.
And there's messages behind it that are influential versus this is like, yeah, no, you're just gonna you went through something traumatic and you're having a hard time coping and this is the outcome, you know?
Mhm.
That's not a good message.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There's I'm gonna keep that comment to myself. Now I would rate this. I'm gonna rate this a 2. I was gonna just say fuck it and put a goose egg on there, but there were some things that I did enjoy. That my daughter enjoyed the secondary character, enjoyed what he was doing and how that was done. And I agree with you. I don't know exactly what Disney slash Pixar's strategy is. There was no marketing for this. So this was going to flop regardless whether we enjoyed it or not, because no one knows this movie exists. Um, th- you had Lilo and Stitch that I think is running into the same issue with the flop. You had the Moana 2 did great. You're going to have the live action do great. I think it's like Disney is not, maybe they are doing it on purpose. They're making it where it's like not doing original characters so they can say, see, we gave you an original character and you didn't watch it. So we're going to give you a remake again because the remakes are doing better. Because the generation that remembers the remakes are bringing their kids to the theater. The problem with this one, unpopular opinion, is there's so much television that my kid can watch. They're not seeing an ad for this saying, take me to the theater. That's normally how it works. Normally the kids say, take me to the theater, and the parents go. I dragged my family to go to this movie. So the dynamic and what we do to go to the movies has switched because she would just watch it on streaming. And I think when it gets to streaming, people may watch it and enjoy it. So it's unfortunate of their strategy on this and the execution of what looks like a movie that had really good potential. So speaking of potential, you could have been anywhere else potentially, but you're here with us. And you can go ahead and hit the subscribe button, like, follow, and comment for more. We'd greatly appreciate it, as it's been clarified that we're at 14,000 subscribers, not 4,000 subscribers that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Silly me. But you know what's not silly? Going to AMC, we're not sponsored. It's not a shameless plug. But what I did enjoy way more than the movie was this little cup mug thing. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh my gosh, I
Right?
want it. I might get myself one
I
when
wasn't
I
gonna
go.
get
I
it,
saw it.
but my wife saw it. It's got glitter in the bottom. It's got the 3 little, like, more of this. AMC, more of this. This is cute. So yeah, you can put whatever drink you want in it. We're not sponsored. We need to showcase some more of these items that we buy from the movie theaters. A lot of movie companies come up with stuff. So we thought that was cool. But I said this was a 2. Mayte said it was a 2. Tell us in the comments what you think this movie was. You could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to be here. Until next time, kalika-lika-lao.